Boys, it's your boy and Poppy J here, and today we're going to be talking about Monstadt and its origins, as this will be the second installment in my series called Genshin Impact Lore Librarian. Previously, we spoke about the Archon War and the fruition, or how the 7 Archons came into fruition. But today I kind of wanted to start off by talking about the regions themselves and then getting into the lore of the characters that inhabit them. So today we're going to be doing Mondstadt, next Liyue, next Inazuma, so on and so forth. You guys get the gist. So if you guys didn't know, all of the regions within the game are actually based off of regions in real life. Mondstadt is based off of Germany, Liyue is based off of China, Inazuma is based off of Japan. Natlan is based off of kind of like a South American country. I don't think there's really a specific region. Sumeru, I think, is based off of Egypt. Fontaine is based off of France, and Snezhnaya is based off of Russia. So Mondstadt, being the German region in the game, is German for the Moon City and is one of the 7 nations in Teyvat, and the first in which the traveler starts to look for their lost sibling. Obviously, this is what we learned from the beginning of the game. So there's not much else to really talk about there. So once we get down to the history portion of the wiki, it says that around 2,600 years ago, the nation of Mondstadt was divided between 2 warring powers, the Animal Archon and the Lord of Storms Decarabian, and the King of the North Andrias. So obviously, we already spoke about this in the Animal Archon portion of the Archon War video, but to just basically give a quick summary, Decarabian was a piece of shit. He basically helped shield the people from the icy, wintry climate that Andrias had created for themselves. And in order to protect them, he created a wall of storms around what is previously Mondstadt, but is currently Stormterror's lair. He created a wall of storms around that region to protect humanity, but in exchange for his protection, they were basically forced to live there and worship him, which is why he was so powerful. So there were a few defectors, a couple of which being the Gunhilder clan, which is, it's the family of Jean and Barbara. It's their family lineage. And basically, the nameless wind spirit and the nameless bard, who eventually becomes Barbados, and Venti models his character off of this bard. The nameless wind spirit goes and helps them because Andrias hates humans and wants the climate of Teyvat, or that region of Teyvat, to be uninhabitable. So since they defected from Decarabian and his rule, and the Wisp came across them, he wanted to help. So in order to help them, he just basically did whatever he could to protect them in exchange for the Gunhilder clan's loyalty and them worshipping him. So because he was worshipped so much by this clan, he was able to basically turn the tides in the war of Andrias versus the Archon Decarabian. Along with the help of the Gunhilder clan, Barbados, and the Animal Archon, is also where this bard comes in. And unfortunately, he passes away in the battle, which is why Barbados models himself as the bard Venti in the game. So, we already know a lot of this. Basically, because Andrias had ruined the climate of Mondstadt and the climate of this northeastern region of Teyvat, the only thing that Barbados has really done for this country has been to make the land inhabitable and to make it fruitful for crops and full of greenery, just make it a very pretty place, pretty much. Other than that, his one thing that he wanted to get through to people was the ideal of freedom, which is what we spoke about in the last video. Venti's ideal is freedom, so in order to kind of perpetuate that notion, he kind of just dipped and just left his seat as an Archon. So here in the next section it says, after a while, the Animal Archon departed from Mondstadt to avoid becoming the tyrant himself, and the city was eventually ruled by the aristocrats. Unfortunately, over the next 1,000 years, they grew more and more corrupt until they became the very tyrants Barbados wished they avoided becoming. Reawoken to the cries of a slave girl, Vanessa, Barbados aided her rebellion and the aristocracy was overthrown. She established the Knights of Favonius to prevent any aristocrats from taking over again. In time, she became known as the Dandelion Knight. She also reestablished the power of the church in the form of the Four Winds. Andrias' spirit was considered the Wolf of the North. Dvalin was considered the Dragon of the East. Vanessa, who ascended to Celestia, became the Falcon of the West, and whoever holds the title of Dandelion Knight as the acting Grand Master, who is now Jean, previously Lord Varka, they become the Lion of the South. About 100 years ago, however, after the fall of the Kingdom of Canaria, the city was attacked by the black serpentine dragon Durin, who was actually created by an alchemist named Gold. Barbados summoned Dvalin to fight Durin, and Dvalin eventually emerged victorious after an intense battle over Dragonspine. Afterwards, injured Durin's poisonous blood, Dvalin fell into a deep slumber. 6 months ago, the current Grand Master Varka led the majority of the Knights of Favonius on an expedition to parts of the unknown, leaving Jean as the acting Grand Master at the beginning of the story. Alright, so we already pretty much knew a lot of that. The only thing that actually came as a shock to me was the thing about Canaria, as Canaria is kind of like this lost continent that is shrouded in mystery. Dainsleif, I think, is currently the leader, and Kaya is also from there. So we don't really know a lot about that, so we're going to be covering that later on, because there's actually a lot of interesting stuff to do with that, to do with Kaya, and to do with the D-Luke and like D-Luke's family lineage. It's actually pretty fucking sick. I read into it with my girlfriend, and it's actually pretty cool. Other than that, that's all we really have to say about Monstadt. Either way, boys, it's been your man, Tim Poppy J here. Please, 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 please like, comment, favorite, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see in the future. Hit that notification bell. And it's been your boy. Peace out.